everyone, welcome to English Tutorial Edu. This is Sumitha and today we shall be learning about the poem The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. In this poem, the poet tells us about the choices that he makes in his journey of life. The title of the poem tells us about the road that he has not taken, okay, and as he emerges on a journey in a different path. Robert Frost was born on 26 March 1873 in San Francisco and died in January 29, 1963. He wrote mostly about life and landscape of New England, that is in USA. He avoided poetic experiments of his time and was a poet of traditional verse, form and meter. Frost, one of the best known and most beloved American poets of the 20th century, won the Pulitzer Prize 4 times for New Hampshire, collected poems for the Range and Witness Tree. The Road Not Taken is all about individuality versus conformity to social norms. So what usually people go about thinking about what the society will think and what an individual person wants to do. Let us see the first stanza. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. As we can see that there are two roads which are separating and going in two ways. And sorry I could not travel both. The poet says that he feels sorry, he regrets that he does not have the opportunity to go in both the roads. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. So one fine morning in the autumn season, because it is a yellow wood, he was taking a walk and he feels sorry. He came upon a divergence or a fork in the road and he had to make a choice as to which road he would travel. And he felt confused as to which option to take, and being one traveler, one solitary person, he stood at the center of the divergence and looked as far as he could to where it bent in the undergrowth. So he looked at the road till it curved in some part and could not be seen anymore. So there was a lot of shrubs and small plants which hid the path. This is the superficial meaning of the poem. Now let us see the internal meaning. So here the two roads stand for the choices in life. So here the poet is actually talking about the choices that one makes in life. Poet came to a point in his life where he had to make a choice between which way he would follow his life's path. So here the first line, two roads diverge in a yellow wood, means that when the poet was in his autumn phase and a matured phase of his life, he had to make a choice as to which road in life he would follow, which choice he would make. And he felt sorry that he could not travel both. He could not opt for both the choices, because one has to make one choice and follow that path in life. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. So he looked down to one of the roads as far as it could till it bent in the undergrowth. So here undergrowth implies the uncertainties of life. There are some obstacles and hindrances and uncertainties. So he is not sure about which path to take because there are uncertainties which he is referring to as the undergrowth. Okay, so there is a literary meaning and the internal meaning. In stanza 2, he says, then took the other just as fair. So there were two roads. He took one of the roads, which was just as fair, as good, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. He says that he then took the other road and it had a better claim because it was grassy. It was full of grass. It had more grass than the other road, and it wanted where it wanted people to go through the path so that it becomes less grassy. Walk through the road, it will be, the grass will be worn out and the path will be clearer. So less number of people had walked through the other path, and it was grassy, and it was wanting people to travel through the less traveled road. Though as for the passing there had warned them really about the same. So after some contemplation, he thought that both the roads were more or less same, traveled by people in the same manner. Okay, so the people had worn out the grasses in both the passes nearly about the same. So here the internal meaning is that he took the other choice in life, which was just as good as the other choice that he had. But that choice had perhaps the better, it had more right to be walked on. Why? Because less number of people had walked the other path, more number of people had walked. So this path had better claim or more right to be walked on, because it was grassy and wanted wear. So less number of people had walked, and it wanted more number of people to walk through it. Okay, the poet says that it wanted wear or needed to be walked upon more by people. Though as for that, the passing there. So as for that means, as far as being walked upon is concerned, the passing there, the people walking down that road, or the people passing through that road, had warned them the roads really about the same. So after a little bit of thinking, he thought that although one seemed to be less traveled, but it was more or less traveled by similar number of people, maybe a little less, but both had their own pros and cons. Okay, so both the choices were almost the same. That morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. So he says that in that morning, both the roads were covered with freshly fallen leaves, and nobody had trodden or walked through the leaves and made them black. So he took one of the paths among the two, because both of the roads had fresh leaves there. Nobody had walked that morning through those roads, and he thought that he would take the other road some other day. But deep down in his mind, in his conscience, he knew that one way would lead to another way, and he doubted that he should ever come back. So he knew that if he takes one way, then it would lead to another way, and he would move forward, and or it was futile to think that he would come back someday to this part and take the other part, because there are also going to be further choices, and he will move further and further. Like if he took one path, then it would lead to another path, and another path. So he would take this path, then he would go here, and then he would go here and go here, and it was unlikely, possibly he would go further in life, and it was most unlikely that he would come back here and explore the other road. Both that morning equally lay means both that roads were covered with leaves in equal numbers. In leaves, no step had trodden black. The leaves were fresh and nobody had trampled on them. So, at that point of time, nobody was opting for those choices. Oh, I kept the first for another day. So, he kept the first one, the road he had not taken, for another time, for some time in future. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, how each road will lead to another and another till one is far away, I doubted if I should ever come back. Doubted means thinking something to be unlikely. So it was very unlikely, and it was a futile thought to think that he would come back and take the other road. Fourth stanza, he tells about the future. He says, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So he says that maybe in future, one day he would uh, heave a big sigh of relief or maybe repentance, give out a long breath. Somewhere ages and ages hence means long time after when he had made the choice, that he would think about the choice that he had, that two roads diverged in a wood, and he emphasizes on the fact that he had made the choice. I took the one less traveled by, he took the less traveled road, and that has made all the difference. That had made a difference in his life. So I shall be telling this with a sigh means he would be letting out a deep breath after contemplation or thinking in regret or in relief. It might be relief or it might be regret. He doesn't know because it is going to be afterwards. Okay, ages and ages and since the future. Okay, so if he is successful, it will be of relief. If he is unsuccessful, it will be of regret. Okay, so he also will, even if he becomes successful, he will have a regret that he did not have the opportunity to travel in that other route. So somewhere ages and ages hence means from now. Okay, so ages and ages hence means in future, two roads diverged means split into in a wood, and here wood means life full of uncertainties and problems, and he has used pronoun I twice because he wants to emphasize that it was he who has taken the decision. He says, I took the one less traveled by, that is less taken or walked on by others, and that has made all the difference in his life. He would be thinking that that decision had changed and shaped his life as it is. Now let us see about the poetic devices in this road not taken. Here the main road that is before the divergence stands for is the extended metaphor for the journey of life. So in our life, each one of us is traveling, okay, in different kind, making different kind of choices, going through different kind of roads. So this road is the extended metaphor for life. Okay, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Here, road stands for the choices of life. So it is a metaphor for choices of life. Yellow wood is metaphor for autumn or autumn season or for mature stage of life. So it is said that spring is the early stage of life, and then comes youth, which is summer, and autumn is mature stage of life, and winter is old age. So the poet was in the mature stage of life. Okay, he is in a yellow wood. Then the poet has used anaphora. Anaphora is repetition of the same word in consecutive life, and. So in these three lines he has used and thrice, which is anaphora. Then undergrowth is metaphor for uncertainties of life. In stanza 2, we see that then took, the sound has been repeated, so it is alliteration, repetition of the same sound at the beginning of words in close proximity. Wanted where is alliteration, verb sound has been repeated, and it is Also personification, because the road is wanting something just like a person. Okay, so we are giving human characteristics to the road, so it's personification. Then the is also alliteration, um, because the sound has been repeated. Stanza 3, for has been repeated, which is alliteration. In the last stanza, we see ages and ages hence, is repetition. And then wood stands for the metaphor of life with complexities. I is has been repeated twice, so it is repetition, and the is alliteration. So these are the poetic devices that has been used in this poetry. Let us see them, recollect them again. Metaphor for divergent paths are the metaphor for choices in life. Road is the extended metaphor for life. Wood is the metaphor for complexities of life. The undergrowth is the metaphor for uncertainties of life. Symbolism. The road symbolizes the choices in our life. Anaphora, repetition of and in lines 2, 3, and 4. Alliteration, wanted where, first for, then took, that, these are alterations. Personification, wanted where, the root has been personified. Repetition, ages and ages, and I, this ages and ages and I has been repeated. Again we see repetition, two roads diverged in, it has been repeated in stanza 1 as well as in stanza 4. Of course, the poet has used imagery, that is created a picture with words. So the poet has created visual imagery of wood with split roads covered with fresh fallen leaves. Now let us see about the rhyme scheme. Wood is A, both is B, stood rhymes with wood, so it is A. Could rhymes with wood, so it is again A. Growth rhymes with both, so it is B. So the rhyme scheme is A, B, A, A, B. I do hope you liked this video. If you did, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel and put your queries in the comment box. Thanks for watching.